Welcome to the program. My name is Dean, and the gang's all here today, which is nice. Ryan Lindley, James DiFiore, and Lachlan Cross join me today for this program.
Hi,
nice
everybody.
To see you all. Good to see you. A little late today, but me and being on time, not pals. I just have a thing. I know we talked about it yesterday. I don't want to talk about it today, but it's like, again, people telling me what to do. So I'm really going to enjoy today's podcast because it's all about people that have told us what to do and continue to tell us what to do. It's all about, people out there that aren't vaccinated telling the vaccinated what to do and telling the vaccinated telling the unvaccinated. Everybody likes to tell everybody what to do. So we've got a lot of that today. People that have told us how it is, people that tell us how it is and then they leave, people that tell us how it is and then they change their minds, or other people that tell us how it is when it comes to drinking your own urine. So I'm excited for the program today.
Jesus.
Welcome. Nice to see everybody. Lachlan Cross, at Lachlan Cross on Twitter, 95.7 Cruise FM in Edmonton is where you can find him doing the morning show. Also, Ryan Lindley from the Sheeple Shepherd podcast. My boy Jamesy right there from the Blackballed podcast, blackballmedia.ca is where you can find him. How are we today, fellas?
Great.
How are we feeling today?
I'm good. Fantastic. Today's a good day.
Ready to go? We're ready to hit it?
I'm
ready to get it going. I wore my Snoopy shirt because I want everybody just to fucking take it easy today. Everybody
Is that
relax.
the signal?
Have the Snoopy attitude of
that's in heavy rotation, that Snoopy shirt, eh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta wear it. Well, it's fucking it's a mindset, right? Like
it's like Creed in the 90s, late 90s.
Early 2000s? I think it was early 2000s. Oh, it was late 90s, wasn't it? Creed? My Own Prison, remember that?
My Own Prison, that was a heavy rotator.
I created my own prison. Yeah.
My mouth's not open.
My mouth's not
My
open.
mumble everything. My mouth's not open.
Stop it right now.
Yeah, sorry about that. Anyway, lots happening today. We're going to get, like I said, to some urine drinking. We're going to get to some goat buggery. We're going to get to some other stuff today.
Oh, goats.
But you know how,
Yeah.
and I want to start here. You know how the other day or last week, Quebec was like, because we're still in the fucking vid, Quebec was like, hey, listen, we're going to make you pay, when you come get booze or pot, we're going to make you show us your vaccine certificate. Otherwise, you can't get booze or pot. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
You know how they upped the ante and the whole world was like, fuck you guys.
Yeah, it was a pretty big step.
Big step, and that mandate quadrupled COVID vaccinations in one day. Quadrupled. So everybody's like, fuck, let's go get it, because the last thing we can imagine is not being affected on a Thursday, Friday,
Quadrupled first dose appointments.
Yes.
Yeah, which is
What does that
that's
mean?
significant.
It means like that people that got nothing went in and got it all. They're like, fuck, just give me whatever you can because I got to get the booze.
But a quadrupling of what?
So they had 1,500, around 1,500, and the following week after the announcement, they had 6,000 appointments in Quebec.
Oh, okay. I see.
for
Wow,
first
that's
doses.
great.
Yeah,
for first doses.
For just first doses, too.
yeah.
Because it just
It's
wanted
brilliant.
to show a certificate. Yeah, it's totally brilliant.
It's
But
It
brilliant.
is brilliant.
As brilliant as that was, fuckers, how about this one that landed today? Quebec leads the way in not giving a fuck about anti-vaxxers.
I
Oh,
love
you
it.
could have said about anything in that sentence.
This happened today. A health contribution will be charged to all adults that don't want to get vaccinated. Quote, we are there now, Quebec's Premier Legault said. Ryan, you've been on this story this morning. We've got some inside details on what the plan is. So how do they plan on doing this? Are they making people pay for treatment? Are they making them pay a tax? All I heard Legault say at the end of it is like, it is a major financial penalty you'll have to pay if
Yeah,
you
he
are
said
unvaccinated, you go to the hospital.
Yeah, significant penalty that you're going to pay if you're willfully unvaccinated. So if you have a pre-existing condition or something that would exempt you legitimately, it doesn't apply to you. So the way I looked at it and the way it sounds to me, it almost sounds like a pay up front sin tax, like we pay at the register for booze and smokes and pot. They're just going to say, hey, listen, if you're not going to get the job, you're going to be assessed a tax penalty. So I understand the argument. Everybody says we already pay for our health care. I get that. And I was almost on that fence of like, this seems kind of little iffy. But then I thought of it in the sin tax. It's a choice you make to be detrimental to your health, and then your choices have consequences on our healthcare system. So you're paying for that. Like I smoke, I drink, I pay heavily for those taxes. So why shouldn't somebody who's willfully doing the same thing not have to pay heavily for that as well? So this one, I thought I was like right on with this one, but it's so wishy-washy. It just seems very. It was only just announced now, so we haven't. They said they're still checking with the law to see how they can get away with
what
doing
do you mean?
it.
I love
Ryan,
that they're doing.
what do you
they're
mean
doing this
wishy-washy?
without actually knowing. They're like, we're going to do it. We'll check and see
And
if it's legal
it's-
later, but we're going to.
Yeah, Legault just announced it and
Oh.
said this is how we're doing it, and then it was like, oh, okay, well, how? That's what everybody asked. Well, don't worry, we'll figure it out, and this is what we're doing, though. But he's very adamant that this is what we're doing.
Yeah. So here are the details. Locke, let me get them to you. Quebec Premier Francois Legault announced the province will apply for a significant financial penalty for residents who refuse to get vaccinated against COVID-19 for non-medical reasons, which Ryan was referred to. Thanks for doing that, Ryan. Appreciate it.
Which also means religious exemption means fuck all.
Yeah. Well, which it should, because religious exemption is fucking bullshit. It's the fucking dumbest exemption of all the exemptions. Oh, I pray to this God, so I can't be healthy. I pray to that God, so I can't be responsible. Go fuck yourself. The Premier made the announcement Tuesday afternoon describing the measure as a healthcare contribution. Through the exact amount has not yet been determined. The province is consulting with Minister of Finance, but Legault say $50 to $100 is not significant enough for him. So he's talking about thousands. So how are they going to do it, Rhino? Are they going to assess that charge when you get to the hospital, or are they going to fucking bone you on the way out?
Sounds like it.
We don't know yet. They haven't really said, and that's where it gets to. Like, it gets very like the questions of like moral, ethic, legal rights happen here. Like, how are we going to do this? Like, do we charge them upon entry? Okay, well, you're not vaccinated. You're going to end up having to pay $2,500 or whatever the fee's going to be. It still won't cover the cost. Again, they're not going to charge you for your entire stay at the hospital with an ICU. You're looking at, sometimes upwards of millions of dollars in care. That's not going to be a thing. It's just, it sounds, the only way it's going to work is if it's pooled. Like, are we pooling it? Like, would it be a pooled to, like, it's kind of
I
like
don't
the way
care.
they do
I
with
don't know.
alcohol
We don't
and
even
cigarettes.
need to get into the details. The fact that he even mentioned it out loud, I think, is just fucking awesome.
It was very, very fucking pointed. Like, there was no...
It's actually brilliant. It's a
he
brilliant
didn't
political
seem-
strategy.
because there was no apology in it whatsoever. He was not apologetic.
And to the point where he went, and sorry, James, over to you next, but to the point where he was like, we want to make your life very fucking difficult. He said that.
Yeah.
He's like, we want to fucking bother you. And then in France, like 2 days later, it's funny how like whatever happens in French France also happens in Quebec France, like five to 6 days
There's
after.
a little bit of a
always.
lead. Yeah.
There's like, they're like, mon Dieu, sacre bleu. Let's fucking do the same thing here. And they're like, why not?
Tabernacle
And so,
Esti.
because Macron in France is like, we want to agitate the fuck out of those people. And I'm like, hey, at least he's honest, right? Like, I like
I
that.
have so much respect for that, and I hate the French people. I do.
Oh, you don't hate the French.
Okay,
I
I'm
love the
saying
French.
that for a fact. I
saying
mean,
that because you forgot the camera was on.
are we live?
Oh, yeah. And we're
What
getting,
are we going on?
we're getting just booted by comments. This guy's from Quebec. He says, we Quebecers love authoritarian theater. He says, we still have a curfew. And then he's not happy here. Yes. And then he's not happy here where he says, fuck Legault.
Yeah.
Hold on. Now, here's the question I have. What is Legault? Like, is he conservative? Is he liberal? Like, I don't even know.
He's Bloc Québécois.
French.
He's
French.
Parti Québécois.
Okay, so
French.
where does that fall? Is that more
French.
conservative?
French.
Um,
He's French.
No, it's probably it's weird. It's funny. It's a funny question
Separatist.
It
because
is.
it has like left wing policies when it comes to the social safety net, but
Okay.
kind of right wing views when it comes to like other cultures.
That's
Yeah.
why I'm asking.
When it comes
'cause
to
I-
racists and
yes,
They're okay,
I'm
but-
very confused.
I'm from
So
Quebec.
why
If that gives you any
are we
idea of
just-
what it's like to deal with the Quebecers.
How is this
So-
going over in Quebec? Because, like, we don't
Who
see...
cares?
Leave Jimmy alone.
is
I mean,
true.
Quebec.
fuck them.
Who cares?
You're
But
funny.
how is this? You lived in Quebec. How's this going over with?
Born there, and I had
Montreal?
family there, so I used to go there every summer.
That's explaining a lot.
But yeah, sorry. In the back with my two sisters, with my parents chain smoking, if you really want to know.
We all did, right?
Honda Civic, 1978. Anyways,
they're back there choking to death.
We had
no
a station
seatbelts,
wagon.
praying we'd get hit
Ash
by
is
a
hitting you
transport
when
truck.
You wore seatbelts? I
No,
didn't know what a
no
seatbelt was until I was
seatbelts, praying we
27.
get hit by a transport
Yeah.
truck. Is what I said. Yeah. Anyways,
But
they're
it's
I,
gonna
I
work.
mean they're taking it the way that you expect them to take it. Polarized. Half of them are okay with it, and half of them aren't. It was brilliant because of this. Okay, let's say he makes the announcement and that spurs another like 6,000 people to get vaccinated. Let's say he finds them. That'll spur another X amount to get vaccinated. Let's say they take him to court, and let's say that they start losing court cases. Well, you can't reverse vaccinations, so he's in the black. Like, it's a brilliant political strategy, I think. It might not win in the next
sneaky.
election.
Yeah.
Can I add to
10% of-
that?
Yeah.
Here's the way I would approach any position on any platform if I was a politician. Everyone fucking hates you right now. It's been 20
Expect
months, right?
Except for
And
Patrick
it
Brown.
doesn't matter where we are in any province. It doesn't matter what party anybody is. If you've been in control, if you've been a leader in this time right now, you're hated. The public hates you. You can't do anything right. If you make one decision for schools, they hate you. If you reverse it in 2 weeks, they still hate you. You can't do anything right. I think politicians know that. I don't care if you're a mayor of a city, a leader of a province, or the leader of the country. We hate you all equally. Doesn't even matter what fucking party you're in. You know what? Roll the dice. I would be doing shit like this like crazy. Show up drunk. It doesn't matter.
Right.
They were doing that in
Say
Alberta.
whatever the fuck you want.
Right?
Yeah.
What are you going to lose at this
politics.
point?
Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
Legault knew that, and he's like, fuck it. What are we going to lose? Like, you can see in the decision making of Doug Ford how fucking petrified he is of losing his job. Legault's like this. Fuck you. I'm like
Yeah.
70. I'm whatever. I got all kinds
Yeah.
of money in the bank. I do whatever
We
I
need
want.
more leaders like this.
We need more leaders that are willing to
Ford-
throw their fucking career away. Sorry, Ryan. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. Ford governs by trial balloon. He governs by Twitter polls and
Everybody
fucking.
does.
Nah, not Legault.
Well, this is the trial balloon. But that's the thing. This is the trial balloon.
I
Because
watched this
that's what's
press
so brilliant
conference
about
today.
it. Nothing has to happen, and he's already in the black. Because there's definitely people out there that are like, well, I don't want it to cost me any l'argent, so they're gonna go and get fucking vaccinated. And
Yeah,
he's
I might
already,
vote
he's
for
already
him.
won.
If he runs federally,
For prime
I might
minister, I would
fucking
too.
vote
Yeah.
for him.
I don't even
10%.
consider
allowed.
moving to Quebec. When I read that, I'm like, probably get some nice places in Saguenay. Maybe somewhere on
I-
St.
I'm
Lawrence.
Saint
voting for
Savard. Saint
I
Savard.
hope he runs. I hope he
Yeah.
runs federally.
10% of the population in Quebec is unvaccinated, and 50% of their ICU capacity is taken up by the unvaxxed. If that helps,
Yeah.
this is why this has to happen.
I keep
Yeah,
on
so-
seeing
Something
that,
like this has to
conflict
happen.
with the
This
whole
is-
ICU thing, but
This kind of covers it. This is from, I can't remember where you got this from, Ryan. We got
That was Globe and Mail.
Well, Mail. Last week, Health Minister Christian Dubé said proof of vaccination, of course, is going to be needed for Quebec's cannabis and liquor monopoly starting January 18th, and then they up the ante with this one. I know, fuck, it's so funny. They just touched them where it matters in the pocketbook and with booze and weed. That's all you have to do. All you have to do,
Why
to
is
James's point, is to
country doing this?
threaten them with it, right? Like whether or not this is even going to happen in the court injunctions, like 6,000 people a day that have not had a vaccine in Quebec are getting their first shots every day because they said, you're going to need a vaccine to buy the booze. And it doesn't even come into effect until the 18th. What are we, fucking the 10th today? Is it
Yeah.
January the 10th?
that's
8 more
exactly
days.
that's it right there. Yeah.
Bingo. Like
Yeah,
when-
and
whether this
he-
happens or not.
I didn't
doesn't
even
mean-
think of
doesn't
it.
matter.
He's already won, whether it happens
Yeah.
or not. If one person
Big
does
time.
it, that's it. But also,
You know what?
Also, someone pointed it. We joked about it yesterday, but Pornhub is located in Quebec.
Yeah.
So there's still time for the porn
Yeah.
vaccine.
Whose idea
He
was
doesn't
that? I
want to
think
blow
that
his
was
whole
Ryan's.
load yet.
It was Ryan's idea. You have to scan your QR code to open up Pornhub.
I
Well,
think it was
and-
a-
There you go.
that third
There's,
person- yeah,
there's that last
Great idea.
percentage.
You know what everybody's doing now? Like all the talking heads and the blue check marks. I'm thinking of giving mine back, actually. I fucking hate it. But all the blue checkmark brigades are talking about, because I don't know if you saw after he made the announcement, guess what trended? Smokers trended, because people like Alex Pearson, who's been kind of passed around the news cycle here in the city of Toronto and been in 15 different gigs. She's like, Quebec wants to tax the unvaccinated for fee for healthcare. What the fuck? Why stop there? I guess smokers, drinkers, drug addicts, stupid people are next. Simply nuts. Not a bad idea for the drug addicts and the stupid people. And then James basically destroyed her entire fucking vision here of this incredible tweet with, hey, smoking and drinking habits can't be caught by standing next to a smoker or drinker.
But we also,
met
unless the
Bonzi?
conversation's really good. Yeah,
Have a drink
Bonzi.
next to Bonzi, and he'll be
Everyone-
pounding booze right away.
Yeah, everyone replied with secondhand smoke, and I was like, did you guys even think before you typed that?
No,
No.
and we do tax it. That's the thing. That's why we have sin taxes on them, to pay for the health care that we fucking provide for people
Yeah.
that make stupid fucking decisions.
There you
Right.
go.
So if you're
Well,
going to make
that's
stupid
tax.
decisions,
Well,
you're going to pay a stupid tax. I'm
How much
sorry.
is a pack of smokes?
like
17
$20.
bucks. Yeah.
$17.
$17. Remember in 1998, 99, when they dropped the taxes down, they were like $4,
Yeah.
$3.75.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
remember
17
that.
bucks now.
And then all
yeah,
these
so,
briefcases that used to open inside reserves weren't opening anymore, so they had to jack the price up to 12.
yeah. Now it's 17.
True.
17,
Yeah.
By the way,
18,
if anybody
19 bucks
needs
for the
a
premium
red
ones.
cigarette hookup, I've got a
Got
guy.
it? All right, yeah.
Oh, I got a guy.
We live
I
45
live beside a
minutes away
reserve, guys, that has like 17 weed dispensaries that all sell shrooms at the dispensaries. You know what I mean? With like
That's
big giant
awesome.
bags of cigarettes for
No
$3.
wonder you're in Killaloo.
Robin Urbeck from Globe and Mail. She's like, this is such an interesting, moral, legal, ethical move to contemplate. And then she continues to tear it down, where she's like, interesting, and then she fucks all over it. It is true, drinkers, smokers pay a premium for healthcare through sin taxes, but what about people who play extreme sports or eat poorly or don't wear their seatbelt? Again, Robin, God bless you for being such a venerable reporter.
She used to be smart.
But I have to ask Robin Urbeck, and if you can see me, Robin, at any point, everybody knows her. Just Dean to Robin. Hey, Robin, just real quick, is not wearing your seatbelt contagious? Yes or no? Like, can little kids catch not wearing your seatbelt, or like, what the fuck are you talking about, lady?
I know, I like the
fucking
severe.
Hold on.
Christ.
I'm going to
I like-
side with Robin. I've lived in Alberta for quite some time now, and I'm pretty sure dumb is contagious. I think actually you can catch it.
I think she did.
Yeah.
I know every time I watch football, I want to give myself a concussion immediately.
Oh yeah.
So-
yeah, big time. Yeah.
They
Yeah,
should
call
just
my
rate the
friends and
level
smash
of
my heads together.
they should rate the level of intelligence to each province based on how many people attend CFL games. Right? That'd be a good marker.
How much? Can I ask you guys a question? How much? Like, let's say you buy a $40 bottle of booze. How much is that as tax? How much goes to the government?
Well,
Like
let's take a look.
50, isn't
Why
it?
don't we look that up? You
I
guys
think
talk and I'll
it's
look.
50%?
65%.
I
65%.
think that's for smokes.
So there's
is
your
like-
tax, right? Let's say you buy a bottle a month. Let's say you give the government $20 a month, and there's about $240 a year you're paying as a tax for the drinking that you're doing. Cigarettes, I think, are like 80 or 90% tax. I think
Yeah, I think they're at that high.
61.5% in Ontario for alcohol.
61.5%.
I knew it was around 60.
So just so I can explain this really quickly to all the venerable Globe and Mail reporters and the grandstanding Sun reporters and all the people that think this is unfair, you already pay that tax on every single pack of smokes you get at the rate of 90%, because that's how they've done it for 25 years. Same thing with booze. This is the same thing. It's going to hurt more because it's a contagious pandemic that 10% of us don't think is real because they're not smart. So we
how
have
many
to trick
people would
them
be
into it.
against this?
What's that?
I don't understand how people would be against this. I can't believe we haven't done this already. Like, I can't believe that every country in the world isn't charging people for medical attention if you're unvaccinated.
They are in Singapore.
Are they?
They are in Singapore. Yeah, oh, yeah. In Singapore, if you get it, because the Chinese government's like, go fuck yourself, and they can do that, right? They're like, hey, guess what? We own Singapore. You get it. You got to pay like American fees for your. And the guys are like, we make $5 a month. How are we going to foot a $50,000 hospital bill? And they're like, I guess you got to get hit with bamboo sticks for the next 12 years and do hard labor. They're like, okay, guess I'm making
Get peed
wigs
on in
and,
that pit.
and
But
granite
the-
doorstops.
That's the brilliant part of the announcement is that it probably won't survive the court challenge, but it won't matter.
You don't think so?
No.
Because you in our system, you would have to at least prove that this person spread this disease somehow in order to say that they've been a strain on the system. You would have to, once it gets to the court level, then you're dealing with actual evidence. So they're just like, oh, it's going to go to court. Okay, well, here's your fine back. We're good. How many did we
It's
get?
very circumstantial.
28,000. All right, not bad for just an announcement that didn't mean shit. Because it's not going to mean anything as soon as
I
that
don't
first
know.
court
I don't
challenge
know.
happens.
You know what courts have? People with the
Yeah, but
differences
these
of
would
opinion.
be-
sometimes where
these
they're
would be settled by
allowed to
judges,
decipher
not
the law.
juries. These would be
This would be a judge. This would be the Supreme Court, right? So this would be done by a
And
grand jury
they
panel.
have. I
There
mean,
could be
they
activist judges.
follow the law, but they
true.
also have the ability to manipulate the way they view the world
Yeah,
into how they
They have
make
precedent.
decisions.
They have precedent. They have precedent
I-
with the smokes.
this
They have
could go.
precedent with the booze. They got precedent with every tax they've instituted to
but
be able to
somebody
cover
that-
costs for something.
Yeah, I
somebody
guess
would
so. Is
make
that precedent?
somebody
Yeah.
can make a really good argument though that, and we're not letting unvaccinated nurses work in hospitals, but we're making vaccinated workers infected with COVID work in hospitals. Like there is a big
It's contradictory stuff.
So
And with that, like that, you can add gambling to that list, right? But all
Well,
of those things, like,
OLG
gambling is
makes a lot of money.
syntax, right? And by the way, if there was no gamblers, no smokers, no drinkers tomorrow, our health system would fucking collapse in this province. It would absolutely fold like a house of cards.
Yeah.
In
roads
the
would be shit.
country.
That is. Yeah.
In the country.
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, adding another one to that list. But here the difference is that with gambling, there's addiction attached to it. With smokes, same thing. With alcohol, same thing. So the legal argument would be like if I was representing the side that didn't want to have it, it would be something like, well, there is no precedent because all of those deal with addictions, and then those addictions fund the healthcare system. This doesn't deal with that. This is dealing with someone who refuses to get vaccinated. Therefore, you have to prove, I think, that they put a strain on the system somehow because you know that they are
You've been
contributing.
watching
to
the
that
yeah,
with
but
the
have
other side.
they been watching the news? I mean,
We have ample proof.
No, but you need to
like-
prove it on an individual level.
I'm just
Yeah.
holding up the Canadian healthcare system. Excuse me.
Oh,
Like
boy.
if you've never had COVID, they can't tell you that you've been a strain on anything if you've never had COVID.
hey, did you guys hear this today? That 46%. This is in the province of Ontario. 46% of the people who are currently in hospital that have COVID didn't check into the hospital with COVID. They checked in for something else and had COVID.
Are you shitting me?
Yeah,
I did hear
no.
that number, and the reason why that number is so high too is because it's a lot of kids are coming in with it as well, right? The number of hospitalizations for the youth has gone through the
Pneumonia,
roof.
all those
Yeah.
things. Respiratory issues are coming in with respiratory issues and pneumonia. You're like, oh, this was brought on by COVID. They didn't check in with COVID. So, what does that do to the numbers of people that have been diagnosed with COVID in this country? It actually lends itself specifically not just with kids, but 46% of the people. I believe something like 90% of those people that went to the hospital were actually vaccinated and were in there for another reason. So all these COVID deniers are going, well, look at half the people in the hospital are fucking vaccinated. We're like, well, they're not there for that. They just have COVID too, you dumb fuck.
Percentages. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
You know what we got in Alberta, and I don't know if it's similar in Ontario or other parts of the country, but they're really restricting your access to PCR tests right now because they've been flooded. They can't keep up. And
Yeah. We've
what
been screwed.
what Dr. What's her name? Henshaw. I think that's she's
Henshaw.
the head doctor in Alberta. I have a nickname for her, but I promised I wouldn't use it anymore to a listener who was really upset.
Never
because he
fucking
wants
say
to-
that unless you're willing to use it. But go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway,
It's a good one.
she was on like her announcement today or yesterday I rather was, we suspect that the numbers are like 30,000 active cases or something. That's the number that they have based on the testing that they've done. But she said that we have about 500,000 cases in Alberta right now.
Do you think Dr.
And
Bangs is credible?
I do.
Okay.
I do, because I think I think a lot of times what ends up happening is you reach a certain point in your career, right? And then you end up being thrust into a position of authority that you might not want.
Yeah,
And I think she's a perfect example of that. And I think she could have gotten out of it, but I also think she's the type of person that may have people in her life that are saying things like, it's a bit of the Trump scenario, right? We need a reasonable voice in there. Please stick around. Please don't quit.
I have a question about Alberta, because I've heard it here before, many times in Ontario. Do you hear a lot of like, we are taking our marching orders in society right now from unelected health officials, and how that's a horrible thing? Like, are you hearing a lot of that?
No.
You're not? Okay. Because I'm hearing it all the time here from conservatives.
I think it's the other way around. I think our health officials are getting bullied by politicians that don't have any fucking say whatsoever, or shouldn't have any say in public health policy, other than, this is what that doctor told me, I'll do that.
And that's how they sewer our health professionals, right?
That's right.
You know, watching them, and I saw Abu Sharkawi, who's an infectious disease expert here at St. Mike's. Everybody knows who he is. He's one of the country's best, and not a hair trigger guy. Like, he just gives out the information. And he was like, "Why the fuck are we like, we're sending our kids back on Monday, and you've got no HEPA filters, you got nothing, you got no plan." Like, and then I saw a bunch of conservative talking heads, legitimately conservative talking heads, in the thread go, "You're a fearmonger. You're this. You're that." This is a fucking infectious disease expert that has been run ragged for 2 years, and he's like, "Are you sure you want to do this? It's not a great idea." And
yeah, but that plumber knew what he was talking about.
You don't know what you're talking about. and that's like, it is legitimately the dressing down of our healthcare professionals, which we've talked about for a long time. They've all said this. Mind you, I will say this. Those same health professionals are like, here's the deal. You kind of have to put the kids back in school, which is happening here in Ontario on Monday. And there's now this big fight about whether or not kids should be going back to school. I happen to think they should, right? I really do. And the reason why I think my kids should be in school is a personal reason. I think it's good for them. The Pediatric Association of Canada is like, hey, listen, make sure those kids go to school no matter what you do. But then you're faced with another problem if you're not protecting the teachers. Like in Alberta today, I don't know if you know this, Locke. First day of school, back to school for the kids was yesterday, if I'm not mistaken.
1 million kids yesterday. Yeah.
1 million kids. 2,500 teachers called in sick yesterday.
Yeah.
In Alberta. They had to literally have gym class all day in some schools with COVID because these teachers are not there.
Ontario's union. Yeah,
Ontario
sick? Teacher Union here just revised their bylaws and their collective bargaining agreements to allow retired teachers, because that's now part of Doug Ford's plan, is to bring retired teachers back. And instead of only allowing them 50 days a year, they're now allowed 95 days a year because of this. So it's another Band-Aid solution by Doug Ford to just limp his way through this. And what you said earlier about conservative politicians, the dressing down of our doctors, that's exactly what it is. Anybody that has a voice, like Sharkawi, that goes on and says something.
Isman, Sharkawi, not a doctor, but immigrant.
Yeah, we'll get just roasted by our politicians, and then it causes mistrust in society for our actual doctors who aren't politically fucking motivated. So
yeah, you're right. Well, again, can we go back to the beginning of the conversation that we were having about Lego? And you're at a point now, and I don't even care if you're a politician. We have nothing to lose anymore, right? You know, like just everyone just start telling the truth, and if it's your opinion, just say, hey, it's my opinion. Everyone is so worried about we've been just hammered with this over thinking everyone's thoughts and feelings, and it's so fucking exhausting.
Yeah.
And now we've been dealing with 20 months, 2 years of a pandemic where there has been a lot of thought and planning behind the scenes to protect everybody's from this and that, and we got to do the right, and all we've done is just royally fucked it
all
up.
up.
And we've politicized the healthcare system. We got teachers that don't want to go to work anymore because of what they have to do with. We have people in the healthcare community that are fucking fried, that are burnt. We're at a point now. Just say it like it is. Tell it like it is. That's why this Legault thing.
Yeah.
I'm celebrating it. We're going to fucking charge you. If you're not vaxxed and you get COVID, you're going to fucking eat a fucking sin tax before you even get into
coming to your house
fucking
with a bill.
emergency.
I think
Hope it's
they'll
10
extend
grand.
the school thing for another 2 weeks.
No, they're going back Monday.
I don't know about
That I know. But
Here's
I
the
hope
problem.
that sin tax in Quebec is legitimately 10 to 15 grand.
I hope
That'll
it
get
is.
more people when it all falls apart.
Seems
Like
about
he,
right.
he said, because they were like, "What is it? You want the $50 or $100?" And they're like, and he's like, "No, that wouldn't hurt.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's
I want
not
it to hurt." He said that. I
And
want
he wants
this to
significant.
hurt.
Yeah.
I
No,
love
it's
the guy. I want this
we'll keep an eye on it though. We'll keep an eye on it.
And you know what's
we'll-
what's amazing to me? Last week, Aaron O'Toole. Here we go. I'm getting into politics again because I said I wasn't going to dunk on dead anti-vaxxers anymore.
Oh, hold
So
on,
now I
O'Toole
gotta bring
died?
politics back.
Now we're
No,
only
no,
dunking on
O'Toole's like-
politicians
The
that
Home
look
Depot
like
guy.
corpses.
Yeah. So O'Toole last week. Do you remember the tweet? He's like, "We need exemptions. We need the government to do more for people who refuse to get vaccinated." And I'm like, wait a second. Are you talking about the same people that stood in front of the hospital refusing to let cancer patients in for their chemo treatment? We need to make exemptions for those people? Is that what you're talking about? No, we're not making any exemptions for them. In fact, I love Legault even more because not only is he refusing to make an exemption, he's like, you can go fuck yourself, and
Spin
my
it
job
right
is to
around.
protect the greater good, and I don't care how much it hurts. And I like that. Sorry, I like it. I like
I'm against mandatory vaccines. I want to say that out loud. Forcing somebody to do something they're not comfortable with, I just don't feel good about that idea. But again,
Tricking
when
them is
Ryan
better.
said it, when Ryan said it yesterday, what did you say? When you called the show, you said the slow squeeze. I thought that was a perfect.
Yeah, just that slow. It's like the frog in the boiling water, right? You put the
Yeah.
frog in the pot of cold water, and you just turn the heat up, and he won't even know he's getting
Wait.
squeezed until
They're
We're
he's
Yeah.
using a
having a great
Quebec
time.
analogy. You might want to not. You don't want to use the frog in the boiling
That's
water.
true. I should have said toad. I'm
All of
sorry.
a sudden, you're turning into Lachlan.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
I'm going to get
YouTube's
hauled
gonna
into your
demonetize
PD's
us.
office.
No, because listen, that was an incidental phrase because Boiled Frogs is also not just an Alexis on Fire tune. Great fucking song. Boiled Frogs is also
Where is that band?
an analogy. I don't know. Analogy
I know it's
for
an
like when you don't know something bad is happening around you because you're in it, and then it's before it's too late. It's too late, right? You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
frogs
I
in
think we
boiling
can
water.
all agree, though,
Back
that
to the
Ryan's
Quebec
a
citizens.
racist fuck.
Yeah,
Right?
no, totally racist.
It's true.
God.
Racist
Fun to
piece of
bust his
shit.
balls.
It was nice seeing you guys. Take care.
Easy there, darkest night. All right,
Sorry.
let's settle down here.
Yeah, that's true.
To the politician thing.
Yeah.
You would think the education minister of this province, with the school shut down and going back to school on Monday with no HEPA filters, no masks, no plan, no nothing. You'd think he'd maybe say something.
Yeah, where
Like
is he?
He'd appear. No one knows. Nobody knows. Stephen Lecce is his name. He's what a wiener.
Oh, is this the goat dude? This is the
Just
goat
wanna-
dude.
Don't you just
So-
want to punch that face?
Stephen Lecce is the health minister, and he's Dougie Ford's little coffee boy. He just does whatever he's told. And he's private school educated, St. Mike's. He comes from tons of money. His parents are huge conservative backers. He's an enormous piece of shit. So we can't find him. Like school's going back to no. Where's Lecce? He was Lauderdale.
Spring break.
Lecce was trending today. Lauderdale Lecce, because no one can find the guy. And then Karima puts this up. Where in the world is Stephen Lecce? Now, what caught my attention was this goat, and I'll tell you why. Because there's been rumors.
The tight pants jean machine is what set me off, but okay.
Oh, right here,
Yeah.
Gene Machine tight
she's
pants.
so
'Cause he's
good.
always wearing tight pants. Yeah.
Is that a
what-
goat? That's
and
a
then
goat.
the
And
goat,
then the
and then
frat house.
The frat house here, Sigma Phi. So I just want you to remember those because Kareem is brilliant, piqued my interest. I did a little digging. It turns out that 3 years ago, there was an article written in Medium magazine by a woman named Cicely. Jillian Cicely is her name. About a fella named Kyle Ashley who accused Stephen Lecce, the God, he looks like the head of the Wiener Brigade, doesn't he? Fucking
Look
love
at
this
those
guy.
ears.
Stephen Lecce, in his time at Western University as the president of Sigma Phi, helped sexually assault a bunch of Sigma Phi pledges. Now, if you don't believe me, this is from 3 years ago, December 20th, 2019. Kyle Ashley tweets this. I was hazed by Minister Stephen Lecce while I was pledging Sigma Phi at Western. And he was not only a fraternity president, but the university student council president. This is not the type of person who should be in charge of educating your children. If you're a journo, DM me. Now, you
He's an
look at
ex-cop,
that and you
Kyle.
go, okay. Dude
He
is
used
an
to be a
ex-cop.
cop. Yeah.
I emailed him.
Did you?
I saw that. Yeah, it took a couple months, but I was like, "Oh, what the fuck is that?" So I emailed him about his hazing. But anyways,
Yeah, talk to him
he
this
didn't
morning.
respond.
He might come
Yeah,
on
yeah.
the show. You sang it about it. He then goes into details: beer shower, sensory deprivation, a jail cell in her house, degradation, kidnapping. All happened under his watch when he lived in the house and was the leader. Kyle then goes on to say, "Oh, and being told at some point we'd have to fuck a goat for weeks on end as a joke." Only to be handed a condom, unblindfolded, and a goat before our feet in each pledge during initiation week, and being told fucking that goat was a step to being accepted into the frat. Yes, these are my allegations. Yes, I will appear before a camera to defend what happened to me and other pledges. No, I won't retract my tweets. This happened. It affects my life every living day. So,
At least they were being safe.
There's a lot to unpack there. Just think we
Well,
should point that out.
my
Poor
theory,
goat.
and I don't know if any of it's true. I DM'd with Kyle. He seems like a very nice man. He's considering coming on the program.
Why would you lie about that? Like I'm
great
gonna
question.
side with Kyle.
Why would he make up a story? Let's just put this through the filter here. Why would a guy, after 20 years later or 10 years later, go, I fucked a goat?
Maybe he just really hates goats. You know,
If he wasn't embarrassed by it, and why would he allege that the most, maybe second or third most powerful dude in the province made him fuck the goat or other things?
yeah. He never mentioned if
There's
he
nothing
did it.
in it for him. Nothing other than pain. And he's like, fuck, here it is. And the tweets are still there. I got them this morning.
He never mentioned if he did it or if he saw others do it, though.
No, he didn't.
No,
So
he
there-
didn't.
that-
But
and not that takes away from the obvious credibility of the story, right? Like, who was the guy, David Johnson in the UK?
Mhm.
Do you remember this one?
None
And
of us
he
should be
was like,
laughing at this. This
It
is
literally
awful.
came out that I think it was a pony. Like he fucked
No
something.
way.
Oh, a chicken. It was a chicken. Yeah,
You're lying.
I'm not. I'm
Who's
looking
this?
it up right
Who's
fucking
this?
now.
David Johnson?
The former
Why?
UK guy.
That's a
UK
rough
Prime
morning.
Minister-
I'm trying to fuck a chicken.
Have we checked?
bestiality.
The petting zoos for
Yeah,
Lecce? Maybe
yeah.
he's in a petting zoo.
Pig gate. It was a
can't find
pig. It was a pig.
Good.
It's called
We've gone
pig
through the
gate.
whole barn. We finally found it.
Yeah. I knew we'd get there.
Yeah,
Refers to
No,
an
I just
uncorroborated
gotta know back-
anecdote. Can I read
Sorry,
it?
go ahead.
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Piggate refers to an uncorroborated anecdote that during his university years, former British Prime Minister David Cameron, inserted his penis and or testicles, mind you, that's what it says, into
whole
a dead
thing, eh?
pig's mouth as part of initiation ceremony for the Piers Graveston Society at Oxford.
Weird society.
Hi,
Pig
society.
Is that a society you'd want to join if they're like,
I'm out.
got to put your
Yeah.
dick and balls
Oh,
in a pig's
hold
mouth?
on. What do I need to do?
Yeah, was
I have
Skull
a
and
problem
Bones-
putting a tie on to go
now,
to
now that
things.
Now that I'm remembering Skull and Bones, was that about a human remains? Was this like a fucking cow skull? that
What is
was-
wrong with
I
people?
just got a
Honestly.
DM. I just got a DM from Kyle. Great guy. I like this guy a lot. He's
Uh-oh.
listening to our show. No, he's good. I was listening, to be clear. I never fucked a goat. LOL.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you,
I was
Kyle.
just curious, Kyle. There was no judgment. I just wanted.
No,
to
he didn't fuck the goat.
Okay, good.
He
Good.
was absolutely,
You might
according
want
to
to
him,
go back and
absolutely
make an
abused.
amendment to those tweets.
No, but he never says
No,
in
in
there that he
addition
fucked a goat.
to-
He was told as a joke. In fact, he did say as a joke, "Gonna have to fuck a goat if you want
We
to be
all
part of the
know.
team."
Listen,
And
the
then he took the
problem
blindfold
with
off.
the problem with threatening that, Dean,
Goat buggery.
yeah, is that we all know guys that would go,
All right.
the goat's here.
I don't know anyone that
I
would do
got a
that.
condom.
Really? That's such an Alberta thing.
I was
to
just
say.
gonna say it came off his tongue so easy there.
I love
Yeah,
how
I know a
awkward-
bunch of guys that
Yeah.
would fucking do
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Fucking
Yeah, well,
No
he's in
problem.
Alberta.
Don't you know that we all have that friend? It's the hold my beer guy, right?
No, I don't think
I'm
so.
gonna
I
need to
think
do
this
this.
is really
This is
a
gonna-
Western Canada thing. I've never.
No, Bonzi would do it. Like of any of us.
I didn't want to
Out
bring
of
up
us.
Bonzi because we shit all over Bonzi all the
No,
time.
but he'd do it. We established that in the last show. I asked him what he would do if he would take a peen in a certain area for $10,000, and he's like, "I do it for like $7,500."
Actually, I don't think
Even
that was on the
came
show.
down.
That was at the
I
house.
don't know any
Dean.
of this. What was it? What did he?
Wasn't
What
on
would he
the
do
show.
for $7,500?
wasn't on the
That was
show.
when
We
we were
just
having
made it
dinner.
part of the show.
Oh yeah, sorry, that was right. Yeah, because we were talking about that at our house the other day. Because Lynn's
right.
came over with his lovely wife Ashley on the weekend, and Bonds showed up. Pretty sure he gave us all COVID. Anyway, that's another story.
My
But
tests are
like,
still negative.
so are mine. I tested myself today. I'm like, Bonds, give me COVID? Fuck, I don't know, dirty bastard. No, I'm just joking about the dirty bastard stuff. But we were talking about this guy who took hoop for a bunch of money, and he's like, I did it, and we were just kind of shooting the shit, like the memory of it, and I don't know if it, and out of nowhere, Bonzarelli's like, I'd do it for $10. I'm exaggerating. It was like 50.
Oh, if it was 10, I'd be like, I think I would do it to him for $10.
We said we put it on pay-per-view, actually. I remember we
James,
said we make
I
it
was
like
waiting for you to step up to the plate because
Well, I'm not going to
I thought
ever
maybe-
receive anything in my bum, okay? Because bums are the bum hole.
He's
is
saving
the most
that for China.
disgusting thing on the whole planet, as far
The
as I'm
balloon
concerned,
knot?
male or female. I don't like it.
Leather Cheerio, the
But
bung piece.
like, I wouldn't have anything in my bum.
Julio.
But if Bonzi's going to let me fuck him up the ass for $10, I might just do it out of principle.
See? So you are the guy with the goat.
do it because it's a hell of a
Oh, I wouldn't do the goat.
So there you
At
go,
least
Locke. You
Bonzi's
might be onto
human, and I
something.
can just say I
I
was
told you.
bisexual.
That's why I think it's not fair to the barn animals to put them in that situation because you got
Well, they
10,
can't
20
consent.
guys in a room, and
Dude,
one
it's
of those
rape.
assholes is going to be a Bonzi.
It
and
is
he's gonna
rape.
pull his pants down, and
So-
the next
and
thing you
in-
know,
and in
that
3
goat's getting something he didn't need or deserve.
Then 3 years later, it's a Me Too, and then we're all fucked. We get canceled. Bonzi gets canceled. Me Too. Me Too.
But the thing about goats and Bonzi, they'll eat anything.
That's true.
Right? Like,
Cans.
Listen, just to end the maybe Stephen Lecce abused Sigma Phi pledges with some goat fucking threats. Maybe if you want to find the man, maybe start looking around hobby farms in the GTA.
He might be recruiting.
and
So another strong move by
Don't
the
go-
Ford government to make him head of education. eh?
Yeah,
Very strong. Yeah,
but
excellent stuff.
don't go to a Jamaican restaurant because that's racist. Because you'll find goat there, but it's not the goat you're looking for, right?
This is not the goat. We're
Goat's a big
That's
deal
gonna.
down in Jamaica.
That
and
one's
it's
gonna
not
hurt your
good.
ass. You're not gonna hurt its ass.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, not good. I never once enjoyed goat when I was in Jamaica.
What is with
love
these
it.
like?
Tastes awful.
These are not alpha males, by the way. I mean, you know how everyone thinks that the alpha male is like that J. Edgar Hoover G-man with the square jaw and like the suit and big and
I
everything
got
like
called
that.
a beta male all day yesterday, by the way. Beta
The
male.
idea that the alpha male participate like these big athletes, it's not just being big and strong. That's all I think I'm trying to say, because often the big and strong guys try to get you to fuck not only each other when you're not down with that, but also animals. It's always that type of person. It's never any other type of person. So I think we need to change the definition of what an alpha male is, because I think society believes that those are the alpha males. And I think that we need to sort of like fix that a little bit. I think beta
I think
males,
alpha and beta males are like that whole thing is like the things that people say when they know that they're scared to exist.
Well,
That's what I think.
I
I'm an alpha male. You're a beta.
don't know if it's so much beta
Might be
alpha.
right,
as much as institutions. Like, I think we could have a conversation and break it down to like sports, like hockey. I know a couple guys in the military. Hazing was a big part of the military. I think it's more that than it is, because it ends up being part of the culture, right? I don't think it's so much. I understand what you're saying, James, but I think it's more about the hazing specifically on the male side of things. It was always just it was about what you got into, right?
Yeah. I thought
hockey's bad too, right?
Yeah, hockey's not great for the hazing, right? You just go and
Hockey-
ask the guys at the Hockey Diversity Alliance how the hazing was for them. They'll say not great.
Wow.
But speaking of hazing, I was like doing some reading this morning because Linz and I were talking early. We all were. We DM each other every morning. Good morning, how you doing? And I laugh at the things that trend. Like earlier when I said smokers were trending after Legault was like, "Hey, we're going to hit you fucking rejects in the pocketbook."
Call
Remember
this.
that?
So,
The other thing that trended this morning, which caught my attention as it normally would, man of my urine. Urine was trending, and Linz is like, "Welcome to 2022, everybody." Now, when urine trends,
bye, James.
when urine trends, yeah, we'll just take.
We don't have video, do we? Pictures one thing.
like this guy drinking his own piss. We talked about this. When did we talk? Like a month ago, Linz?
Yeah, it was December
Yeah.
5th, I believe. You put the article out, and then Ashley was on and making Bonzi throw up on the show on the 8th or 9th after that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it was about a month.
We know things and do things a month before they trend. Apparently,
Yeah.
call me
We're
crazy.
trendsetters.
Yeah. But people have been, and we warned people about this. There's a Facebook group called Urine Magic, and people from around the world who don't want to get this COVID shot are being told by people who've been drinking their own piss for like 20, 25 years. Listen, I've got no health problems because I've been drinking piss, putting it in my eye, piss popsicles in the nose, all that stuff, hooping it, bathing in it, cleaning out my sinuses with my own urine on a daily basis, that they're like, maybe this works. So a bunch of people are trying it, to the point where there are like workshops that crazy people, QAnon people, are setting up in the United States to teach people the art of something called urine therapy. Now, let me introduce you to Christopher Key. As you can see, he's the self-styled vaccine police.
Oh, my God.
And he was on my radar last week, and I'm like, this fucking guy. And then all of a sudden, a video pops up in my feed because I follow different people, and they send me stuff, and it's like, it's an aggregate. We're aggregators of things, and then we put them out. A lot of people share. So
We
someone
become
sends
magnets
me,
of shit is
we
what
are.
we do.
People
We are
send us stuff
magnets
all the
of
time.
shit.
I don't even need to look for things anymore. People just send us
Send
everything,
us-
and we're like, here you
Yeah,
go.
we get tagged and
Yeah.
everything.
It's the best part of this job. I don't even
Yeah.
do prep. People do it for me. But here's a video of Christopher Key at a Super 8 motel trying to convince people. And keep in mind, this guy is greasy. You can see the urine in his
yeah.
face.
It does look like he drinks urine.
Telling people urine, specifically your urine, my urine, is the antidote for fucking everything.
That it's very possible and probable we have the antidote, okay? And the antidote is even for those that have been vaccinated. And the research he's already sent me just blew me away, and they're going to tear me apart, but hey, they tear me apart all the time. And I've been practicing this for 20 years, and everybody's always said I'm cray-cray, and I am, but I'm crazy like a fox, okay? And guys, when I tell you this, please, take it with a grain of salt, but go do the research, okay? Because this is going to just be like, there's no way. But the antidote, and I'm going to kill my credibility. What credibility do I have anyway? So, hey, the antidote that we've seen now, and we have tons and tons of research, is urine therapy. Okay? And I know to a lot of you this sounds crazy, but guys, God's given us everything we need, okay? And I'm going to give you, again, I test and prove all things, okay? This has been around for centuries. We've got research after research, documented, peer-reviewed, published papers on urine. We do. We have this, okay? But they have been doing for the last 9 months now, and What he has right now is all anecdotal because, again, you know, to put together a randomized double-blind placebo study with this is kind of tough. But I'm going to give you some stuff. You got to know. The chlorine dioxide was rough enough, but now drink urine.
Hot tip for everybody watching. If you're listening to somebody who thinks they are an authority on anything and they don't know the difference between the word anecdotal and anecdotal, walk out. And if they tell you to put piss up your nose, walk out too.
Well, you've shined a light on yourself that makes
I've
you
made
look
myself
like
a little
bit of
more
piss
yellow
drinker
today.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yep. So people are doing this, and all you have to do is go to this Facebook group called Urine Magic.
Is anybody watching right now that does
Urine
this?
Magic. Urine Magic. And listen to people like Harmon, who is here with this bottle of piss stuck in his nose, says sometimes you need to do a nasal urine therapy to clean out junk that's been in there all your life. At first, it'll burn like hell, and you might even have to clean have your eardrums pounding. And behind your eyes, it'll hurt. It's not for the lighthearted. People are like, smell or looping. Guys like drink and hold in the sinuses, urine in your as long as possible.
Jesus
Turn your head every
Christ.
direction to get 3-part of the skeletal frame cleansed. Hold your head upside down. Swallow down the back of your throat and drink it.
Jesus.
You can
Christ.
hold it in the sinuses, swallow it, or drink it through your nose and swallow. Andrea's like, hey, guys, I only put a droplet there, but yeah, that's strong stuff. And then Miriam's like, sometimes I do that for my sinuses too. First, it was painful, but I think it helps.
Good Lord.
When they say they literally will do anything but get the vaccine. Anything.
Imagine how bad they smell.
I was
God.
thinking this, like if you're drinking pee on a regular basis, wouldn't that come out in your pores? Like, wouldn't it?
When my mom used to eat horseradish, she'd smell like horseradish for like 3 days. So I just can't just imagine that piss is any different.
I don't think it is.
I smell like a lack of self-worth. Anyways, go on, dude.
I spoke with a doctor, urologist buddy of mine, who did my vasectomy, Dr. Tom. The only man who's had my nuts in his hand other than me. And wiener. Both.
That's special.
Yeah, I trust him. I like him, my friend. And I'm like, Dr. Tom, can you explain to me the urine therapy thing? And you know what his words to me were? Are you fucking serious? And he hung up the phone.
I'm never touching your balls again.
So I called him back. And I'm like, hey, man, it's me again. He goes, are you serious right now? You want you want me to just to give you content? I'm like, yeah, a little bit. Just tell me, what does urine do for people if they put it in their nostrils? And he's like, go fuck yourself. And he hung up.
That's so funny.
And so I sent him the urine Facebook
I love that you're
thing.
friends with the guy that gave you the vasectomy.
He's the best guy ever. Yeah, we had a cottage next to each other.
So
So
kind of weird.
he's like, I know.
Did he do it on the weekend, like the mail?
Yeah, I told him on the Friday I need a vasectomy. We were hammered on my dock. He goes, come by on Monday.
Clear
And
the fish
we were both
table.
at the cottage again on Sunday, both hammered. And I go, see you tomorrow. And he's like, you betcha. So anyway, he gave me the vasectomy, but he was fine. And but he called me back and he's like, Ken, I need to understand. There are people doing this? Is that why you called me? I go, hundreds of thousands. He's like, holy fuck. It's exactly. He goes, do you know how dangerous that is? Like the acid and the urea
I
and the
don't
breakdown
think-
of your fucking
I don't
eyes and your
think we should be
ears and
pointing
your
out
nose and
any
your mouth.
issues with
I
this.
know. And he's
think
like,
we
but he
It's
says
not
to me,
obvious.
he goes, we got to get on this and tell people to stop. And I'm like,
No.
not a fucking chance.
No, hit the gas, bitches. Go. Get going. Get peeing.
But the people that lead these
Yeah,
groups
Ian.
are grifters, right? They
They
are. They
gotta be.
must.
People?
They
Oh, yeah.
must be fucking satirists or grifters.
Does this guy
or
look
something.
like a grifter? Little
Yes.
Vaccine, please.
Ralph Macchio.
It looks like he
Great
moonlights
value,
as a
Ralph Macchio.
televangelist. Yes.
Look at how yellow he is.
Yes.
Well, he's
I know.
been
He's got a
drinking
urine-
piss for 20 years.
Look at
Of course
how
he's
yellow.
yellow.
He is.
He doesn't do it. I bet you he's a grifter. How much money
look-
does that guy make?
Maybe
He
it's
charges
just,
for those. He charges like $80 for a session, and then like
Yeah.
he's got this. There are a lot of those guys out there. They're like $80. Come to my thing, and then I'll do you the personal coaching and teach you how to drink piss regularly.
Yeah, and it's apple juice.
For like
and
$2
his is
grand.
apple juice. I want to see that man piss in a cup and drink it because I guarantee you he would never do that.
is
because
that
he's a
not part of
grifter.
the Super 8 panel?
That's part of the breakfast, the continental breakfast.
Here we go.
Have you ever eaten the Super 8?
Fucking fascinating.
Yeah.
And you know it's funny because it's not like some of these people are haven't finished high school, right? But then, like I came full circle after I wrote the post because there's a post about it at deanblundell.com. And I came full circle today where, yesterday we were making fun of these people a little bit, kind of celebrating some of their death, and I thought to myself, this is why we shouldn't be dancing on their graves a little bit. We should, like, when they're doing it as adults, but these people are just like mentally unwell. Like they're just like, if you go to a fucking Super 8 for an anti-COVID seminar and the guy's like, got to drink your own piss, and you go back and do it, it's the greatest prank in the world. Or
Yeah,
you're the
because-
dumbest human being on the planet, and I
It's
think
the
you're
greatest
that.
prank in the world because when you fall apart and become a crack addict, you're right at a Super 8. You don't have to go anywhere.
Is this something that's been going on for a long time, and they've just decided now that it is
They're
COVID
grabbing
friendly?
onto this. Excuse
So,
me. Yeah.
so there's always been pee drinkers, right?
Yeah, Ashley's dug into this, and she's got some fake profiles in these Facebook groups, like she said when she was on the show about it. And I hear about this all the time. And like it's very entertaining. But these people, this is like their moment. It's like somebody that's been like waiting in the wings for the perfect opportunity to grab onto something. And COVID anti-vax was it. It was like, okay, let's go, guys. Get everybody to drink pee, and everybody's now drinking pee in these Facebook groups. And there's a lot of people that are.
You said something earlier that I thought was fucking bang on. You're like, anything. They will do anything not to
Anything
get
but-
vaccinated
Yep.
and not get COVID. Like, they're
can't
doing this to not get COVID
At a
because
Super 8.
they're doing this to not get vaccinated at a Super 8.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait for like
that's
the
always-
next step.
That's always the conversation that we, well, not always, but we've been
There's too
having
many
this
people.
lately, like, because we do know a couple of people that have adapted some rather strong opinions about what we're dealing with right now, like strong, right? For instance, Jimmy lives in the den of sadness. He has COVID right now, and he's got the guy that lives below him, Red, he's nuts. Like literally takes ivermectin, and he's in the ear of the building manager, Bonnie, who is like, she weighs 92 pounds. She's 108 years old, and she won't get the vaccine. If she gets COVID, she's gonna die. Like honestly, she's gonna. I'm sorry to say it. It sounds crass, but I worry about her. And
you
she's
should
the
piss
reason
on
why
her
I've
right
gone
away
on the
so she
air.
survives.
I've gone on the air and gone, like, listen, if you got family members that are living by themselves and a little bit older, like fucking touch base at holiday just to check and find out, make sure there isn't a Red in the building that's fucking brainwashed them, right? This is what's happening in Jimmy's building right now. Bonnie calls Jimmy the other day when she finds out that he's got COVID, and she's giving him advice on how to get rid of it. And it's salt water. Gargle with salt water.
That's all. 21 fucking months into this. That's all we had to do.
That's it.
Thanks, Bonnie.
I'm waiting for when these guys start taking it to the streets. They're piss magic, right? Like just running around pissing on people. There you go. There you go.
I will free you.
But these
you
people,
go.
like,
Well, it's for you. Squirt, squirt. Here you go, bud. Open your mouth. There you
What
go.
They
is
do
that?
that in
Fine,
Where is
Cabbage
the
Town already.
ICU?
They've been doing that in Cabbage Town for like 2 decades.
why are we desperately trying to find some alternative, though? Like, we're going to be able to
Because
unpack
I'll tell you
this
why. I'll tell
at
you
some
why.
point down the road.
It's the reason that these people are so petrified is because they're stuck in the middle. They're stuck in the middle of COVID on the left of me, vaccine on the right. Here I am, too dumb to understand how to go left or right. So I'm going to go forward, and anything people bring me, I'll try because I'm so fucking scared. That's what I loved about
the urine
yesterday
goes
is
down
that
like
everybody
rye.
was telling me I was paranoid. You're fear porn. You're putting out fear porn, telling us how it is. And I thought for a second, I know why you guys do this. It's because you are so you're such pussies, and a lot of you are so
They are
mentally
scary.
out of it that you're just fucking verklempt, like to the point where if someone comes up with like a piss popsicle and they said, "Hey, this works for me," you're like, "Oh, fuck anything. I just don't want to get that or that." Well,
Yep.
that matter. There are only two choices: either you go get vaccinated or you don't. There's nothing in the middle that can help you. There's therapeutics if you can get it. There's some steroid therapeutics. We talked to Dr. Mario Alia last week. He gave us, but the only way you're going to avoid what you're really trying to avoid, which is death, right? It's these people that are, and I talked about it yesterday, so afraid of dying that they don't want to have any side effects and they don't want to introduce any kind of risk mitigation into their lives other than the ones that people bring them that they say are magic because they don't have side effects. Well, drinking your own piss has a lot of side effects. A lot.
Wait, if
Yeah.
you're drinking urine, you don't just hide. You formaldehyde. Sorry.
Stuck in the piddle with you.
Stuck in the piddle with you.
Oh my God, it's so frustrating though. It really is. Like
It isn't
this
that
is a,
really.
that this
I'm
is
not
a thing.
frustrated by this. No, this is great.
I think I would dunk on them. I'm sorry, but like, there's something so
Dunk or pass.
depraved about just deciding that German culture is so important that we have to adopt it like that. You know, like it's not. sorry, Lachlan. Sorry.
First it's
Anyway.
Nazis, now it's piss.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Okay, can we move on?
No sauerkraut for you.
I'm done.
What's in the sauerkraut? Jesus fucking Christ!
I'm done.
Hans.
That's all I got. All I got. I wanted to get to
Legault,
Quebec's big old tax
Legault, and the piss.
and the piss.
I do want to bring up Evander Kane because there's lots of rumors about him possibly becoming an Edmonton Oiler, and I've got a poll on. I want people's thoughts on whether or not that'd be a good idea. So anybody in listening in Edmonton, if you want to go hit that on my Twitter, I pinned it.
Yeah, we talked about Evander Kane. Thank you for bringing it up. We talked about Evander Kane. He was released by the San Jose Sharks the other day.
Yeah.
And for apparently shining COVID regulations again when he was in the NHL, and they're like, you know what, you're a fuck job, get out of here. And
such a
it cost
tool.
him $23 million,
Really
but he's like $40 million in the hole, so he needs that $23 million. So the NHL filed a grievance. But to your point, what team in the NHL is going to go, oh yeah, come on over here, after not just the gambling, the fucking $40 million in debt, the stuff about his wife, stuff about his kids, breaking COVID protocol not once but twice, handing in a fucking fake certificate to a professional sports organization like they're not going to check it out.
Is he the dumbest
And
athlete?
then he does it again. There is no way. I talked to two people today, one agent and a sports writer friend of mine, and they're like, you know what? All the rumors of him going somewhere like Edmonton or here or there are all bullshit, and it's all being made up by him and his agent. Nobody wants Evander Kane on their team.
Good.
Nobody. And if you're an Edmonton Oiler, you should be fucking petrified of introducing that poison into your fucking change room.
I agree.
Petrified.
Have you
Thank
looked
you
at the
for saying
results of your poll lately?
Yeah,
I'll
I
put
know.
it,
What's
That's
the
why I
poll
wanted
at?
to bring it up.
Well, right now it's 113 votes, and 48% say yes, and only it's 51% that say no. So
He's
it's
such a raging dick. Like,
Well,
and
he's
he's so
redeemable.
dumb.
You don't think he's redeemable?
DMs.
Like, you don't think that
Nope.
there's a way for him to be redeemed?
Nope, that ship flew.
Because I remember, like, Sean Avery retired, and he reminds me of him a little bit because of just like
Sean Avery was just as dumb.
yeah, and
Well,
they're
Sean
all
Avery didn't retire. No, after
No.
the sloppy seconds thing,
Right.
nobody wanted him.
Well, that's my point, right? So
forced
like
retirement.
Forced retirement at age what?
Yeah.
He was like 33 or something.
Something
And
like that.
I don't know how old Evander Kane is, but it's like 30 or something, isn't it? Like he's around there.
33.
It's interesting because he's a lot more talented than Avery was, and And in basketball, I don't know. The NHL has a problem. I don't want to make this seem like a race thing because I know he's an idiot. But like the NBA, let's just use this as the example. The NBA has a way of like reining in troubled people and turning them into athletes that often either don't cause trouble anymore or cause a lot less, or the kind of trouble that you can like deal with, like, getting girls pregnant or something, like, you know what I mean? But they're able to take people and like, and almost rehab them. The NHL has a really, like, I know that, like, Carey Price did the therapy thing through the NHLPA or whatever it was. And there are some stories that are like that, but I don't know. It feels like the NHL isn't as hands-on as they think they are when it comes to their really valuable players that they can't seem to reach. Do you know what I mean? Like, because the NBA does reach them. I don't think the NFL reaches them. I don't know about baseball, but the NBA is so good at this. And it's just weird to contrast those two leagues side by side because the NBA doesn't often have problems.
I think
like
it's
this.
because of who gets into the NBA versus who gets into hockey. And unfortunately, you have to introduce the race conversation.
It's a culture thing, I think.
Yeah, it is a culture thing. I mean, if you're a hockey player, you probably came from some, for the most part, I would say a strong percentage of the guys that make the NHL came from affluence, because you can't raise a kid in Canada or anywhere else in the world and put skates and gear on them and make them successful in that sport without having some money, right?
Right.
So there is, I think, a little less, there's a little less of a
Tolerance
I think
or patience?
patience for a player that might have had a rough upbringing and maybe acting out, right? And in basketball, I mean, you need a pair of shoes and somebody just got to have a ball, right? And these kids grow up in pretty tough situations. And I think there is a culture in the NBA where, hey, listen, that kid, you don't know what he went through. He might have been, he might have had quite an interesting upbringing and maybe just acting out right now. We need to sort of surround him with some positivity, get him into a situation where he can make the right choices. And I think they take care of their own a little bit more in the NBA because of who's coming into it, right? Whereas in hockey, all you have to do is just make sure you're good to the billet teams and phone home to mom every week, because the checks
What was his upbringing like? Does anyone know? Evander Kane's?
I have no idea.
No.
Wasn't he? We came from affluence, didn't he?
I think
I think
have
we
no
talked
idea.
about this.
I think he's got like a white mom, white dad, black mom. I think he's
Mixed
I think
parents.
he's
Biracial,
mixed parents, biracial. But I don't know much about his upbringing.
I don't, it's
Does that make
funny
sense?
yeah,
My theory
it
on
does. It does, and
Yeah.
and you might be right. I don't know. I mean, I look at it in terms of like, what did he learn, right? Like, and dude, we all make a million mistakes. I made lots. Talk about them all the time, but I also talk about like, what did I learn? What did we learn? And were you any different? Like, this is going back 7-8 years, right?
Yeah.
When he got in the fight with Dustin Byfuglien, when he was with Winnipeg and Dustin Byfuglien legitimately beat the shit out of him, broke his shoulder, had to have shoulder surgery, threw his fucking jumpsuit in the just a big fight. And Dustin was right. And they're like, get out of here, you're a loser. They trade him to Buffalo. He goes mildly unnoticed. But there were a couple of run-ins in Buffalo as well. And then, rumors and stories about him jacking like casinos and not paying his debt, but nothing major. And then he goes to San Jose and all the fucking wheels fall off, right? The stuff with his wife, which I can't attest to or deny whether or not she was it's one of those things. Like, she's putting stuff out and say he abuses me and he does. There is a video of him pointing a gun at her,
Waving
whatever
a gun at her, in the garage. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's he said, she said stuff, but it's like what it was for me. If I was the San Jose Sharks, it was the fake COVID certificate. You go down to the AHL, you prove that you have learned that you're not going to make the same mistakes, and you're going to be a model citizen and teammate for these people who count on you because you are a fucking really good hockey player.
He is a good hockey player.
And he fucked it up again.
I everything you said is right. I feel like Allen Iverson would have lasted like 3 years in the NHL. You know what I mean? That's really what I'm saying.
Yeah, there's
like,
there's no structure to take care of these idiots.
and it's important because
and less patience for it, I think, in the NHL.
And also, maybe another thing is that junior hockey is not the same kind of preparation as college basketball is. You know what I'm saying? Like college basketball is very structured. It's almost paternal, and it's like or parental. I mean, and the way that like you if someone lends you money for dinner, it could cost you everything. Because the implication of point shaving and all this other kind of stuff. So you learn how to live a structured existence when you play college baskall.
But there's a culture thing there too, where they take care of their own, right?
That's
they
right.
really do. Yeah.
I went to high school with all the Oshawa Generals. All the Oshawa Generals went to Henry Street High School. So it was like Mark Savard and Eric Lindros, and I'm trying to think of other people from back then, but you get the idea. Fred Brathwaite, remember that guy? The goalie,
that was a good program.
like shorter than me. And but that culture was like they got to do whatever they wanted. They would bully people all the time. They never had any consequences or accountability. They were all white people except for Fred Brathwaite, and they would like, and so they didn't. And then when you go from the ghetto, literally, to college basketball, all of a sudden it's like, don't take money from anybody. The rules are stringent. You're not going out and getting wasted all the time because your coach knows where you are. And it's like, it's a better breeding ground for good prep, I think, for being a professional athlete.
Well, I mean, you watch any of these basketball movies, right? I mean, do you see any hockey movies about how, you come up through the system and the coach is really good to you and introduces Jesus into your. No, there's none of that. But every basketball movie has that trope, right?
It's an understanding though of what they're dealing with. Like
they're taking people and giving them, this is your one fucking chance to get out of that life, right?
Yeah.
You're getting out of the ghetto and you're doing it with a fucking basketball. So you better be, watch your P's and Q's.
Yeah.
Right?
I think they could learn something from the NBA. Is all I'm saying.
I don't think you're wrong.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Can I ask you guys a question? What if Evander Kane's just an enormous fucking asshole?
There's always the Dennis Rodmans.
I think he's a
right?
raging cock.
That's it. You're right. There's always the Dennis Rodmans. That's a good point.
Yeah. No, but Dennis Rodman. Yeah, well, Dennis
went to
Rodman
North Korea, tried to make friends with
That's true.
Kim
If you
Jong-un.
watch The Last Dance, where they're like, hey, he took off for
addiction.
like half the season and he went to Vegas and partied for half the season. Michael Jordan literally had to go there, knock on the door, pull him out of bed, and go, "We got to win the championships. You
And
got to
that's
come
why
back
I
for
love
a month
him.
and a half off."
That's why I love Dennis Rodman. Dennis
I
Rodman.
think Rodman cooked himself.
If Rodman didn't rebound 17 rebounds a game, then obviously Dennis Rodman's career would have lasted like 5 seasons. He would have been with Detroit and they would have traded him. I think it was to Dallas or whoever it was. And then that would have been it for him. But he was the best rebounder in NBA history ever.
Yeah.
It's
He
not
also
even
liked
close.
to kick guys in the nuts.
Cameraman. Did you see that one where he goes under the basket? He kicks the cameraman in like the upper thigh, and the cameraman's like, "What the fuck?"
No.
And then all
He
of a
kicked him
sudden
in the
he's like,
nuts.
"Cha-ching," and he's like, "Oh."
Yeah, no,
Like
he
3
kicked him in the
seconds
nuts.
after he got kicked.
I think he did kick him in the nuts.
Yeah, he kicked him
No,
right
it was
in the
upper
nuts.
thigh. You
Looked
could
like
go
a
look.
nut shot.
It was nuts.
like
I saw nuts.
No, that's what he wanted everyone to think. But still,
Oh, okay. Did he get any money from him? I don't
he
know.
did.
Oh,
He got
for
some
sure he
money.
did.
Because you saw the fake. Ow! Like
I do
it
the
was
same.
great. It was the best.
It's a lot of fun today, guys. Thanks.
It's a real rebel news move.
What, us?
No, get kicked in the nuts.
Oh, yeah.
For money.
You're not getting paid if you're not getting punched. That's the Rebel News theory logo. Rebel News. I haven't seen from that, or heard from there. It's been nice and quiet. I haven't seen any Rebel. I mean, they blocked me. All those guys blocked me. Like Ezra blocked me. Keenan Bexty, the little chemo kid, he
I thought
blocked
they were going
me.
to sue you.
Kind of COVID
Yeah, they
Caillou.
tried. It was like, lawyers are like, don't even worry about it.
Wait till
We
he
get the letter.
Wait till he sees the accessory that we are going to make in the future with Ezra's picture on it. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that's right. Oh, ladies
Big
and
things
gentlemen,
this year, everybody.
Stay tuned.
ladies and gentlemen, legitimately.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Depends on your
tight.
kink.
It'll be awesome.
Thanks, boys. Appreciate you doing this.
Thank you.
Nice to
Great
see
to
you
see you.
guys.
Thanks, guys.
Lockman Cross, 95.7 Cruise FM at Edmonton is where you can find him. He's the host of The Locker Room, at Lockman Cross on Twitter. Appreciate
Twitter.
you, brother. Talk to you soon. That is Lynn's. Yeah, right there, Twitter. Lynn's Ryan Lindley on Twitter. Sheeple Shepherd Podcast. Go and subscribe to it.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.
The
My
the
French
pea
friends.
drinker on the panel.
Yeah.
No, that's my wife.
Frog in boiling water.
And that is
Tabernacle.
James DiFiore, Blackball Media. .ca and Blackballed the podcast is where you can find my friend James. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
I'm taking applications for my future wife. So if you want to send them to me, please.
All right.
Yeah.
Good luck with all that.
And
current
I'm
one's
also
like
taking
literally right
applications
behind you.
for a family lawyer for when I divorce my future wife.
Okay.
In case anyone's.
Set
good
them
luck
all
with
up.
that. Talk to you soon.
Very efficient.
See you guys.
Thanks, boys.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, Linz. Talk to you soon. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 da ba ba da ba da 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 da. Thank you. Delicious beverage. Thanks everybody for showing up. Appreciate it. All made possible by our friends over at Ed's Fine Imports and his lovely underwear. Gitch, luxury branded underwear, boxer briefs, pouch in the front. You'll love them. Thanks, Dunbar. Thanks for coming in. Thanks, Jameis. Thanks, Ashley. Thanks, Dean. Thanks, everybody. But anyway, go get your Gitch from Ed's Fine Imports. Order online. Gitch3 is your promo code. Use it and he'll send you a free pair when you order 3 or more. That's the kind of guy he is. Clothing for men and boys. Go to edsfineimports.com. Domination.com, DMNTN.com is where you can find my friend Adam and his crew. They developed this like cool AI where you put your video into this software. It was a little file, and it legitimately spits out 72 promos in like 5 minutes. Super easy, save you kind of time, and not only that, it's fucking tight. Like it all works. You don't have to go back and rejig anything. You'll love it. DMNTN.com. Try it for free today. And Easy Auto Financial. These are our friends that get you in a car. If you're looking for financing, they have a way of getting you financing. Doesn't matter where your credit is. No obligation. Doesn't cost you a dime because they're good people. They just want to get you in touch with the person that has the car that you want to buy and send you there with your financing. It's turnkey. Go to easyautofinancial.ca. Thank you. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow on this very program. I think you're going to want to hear this one tomorrow. I can't say anything else. It's not confirmed, but it will be. Anyway, have a great day. Stay safe. Bye.